It's not the first time that we go through the exercise, so I think we're getting tough in the sense. It's a tough place to start, but as long as you're going positive and that, as long as we're growing, that's positive. We gained votes in all provinces and we've got new people elected in situations we never had before. And that helps you to keep going with coffee on the other side, and that's the positive part.
You briefly touched on your performance so far. Can you elaborate a bit? How do you feel you've done? Where have you excelled? And where do you think you should have worked harder?
Yeah, well, it's difficult to say in the sense that we've got people elected for Northwest, for example, and 4 or 5 places we never had somebody before. In Northern Cape, we never had anybody there. We've got now people elected in Kimberley, elected in Uppington. So that's gains all the time. We haven't lost really any. In the Western Cape, we did quite well on the coast areas. So we'll see. It's difficult to say where we should have done more. In the end, money is the limitation, not the working ability. Yeah.
And just explain to me, in terms of coalitions, obviously that's the thing that everyone's talking about at this stage. What is your policy? How does it work?
Well, the policy broadly is that's so complicated that it will be decided on the highest policy level. So we don't allow the people to make negotiations on the lower levels because that's the easy way. And let's look at the total picture before you start making decisions. And the one broad guideline is what's in the best interest of your voters. Those people that gave you a mandate, what's in the best interest in that situation, and that will do. If I may say from my personal point of view, I don't think it's good to strengthen the ANC at this time of history. And I think that will be a guideline as well, but luckily I won't make the decision on my own.
Do you think that, we're seeing talks amongst different parties where they would usually say that they would never work together, but speaking to James Sell from the DA now, he says luckily this is a municipal election. So the things that you usually have to work on is basic services, which is generally something that most people can agree on.
Technically he's right, theoretically he's right. The problem is a lot of issues being national, being brought into, and sometimes people use local election to make national issues, and that is difficult. And I may name the EFF, for example. They might be a difficult partner because they play the propaganda game all the time, while people locally want service delivery, they want roads, and let's see whether the EFF can play that role. That will be determining the future of them.
How do you then split the need to manage an area, for example, so that the ANC doesn't manage it, versus ideologies that differ quite greatly?
Well, that's exactly what coalitions is about. You'll have to make that decision, looking at the reality on the ground, and sometimes also at people there. Some people can work together, otherwise not. It's not good to create an unstable situation where over 3 months there's a new government, after 3 months another new one. Therefore you must consider all those issues at the end of the day.